welcome. I'm Chris Shaw, the Chair of the Board of Abatement. I'm going to ask City Clerk Holly Reese to give us instructions on exiting the building in case of an emergency.
Okay, in case there is an emergency, we have two exits for those that are in the building. Over this way, you're going to go out directly and go down the stairs. We're on the second floor, so you go down one flight, and then there's a media exit. Or you can exit this way, go down the main staircase of the library, and then out through the front door. Elevators are shut during emergency.
Thank you. And we're calling the meeting to Board of Abatement to order. It's 3:15 on Wednesday, August 13th. And are there any comments from the members of the public who are here for items that are not on our agenda? Hearing and seeing none, I'm going to go through some introductions of the members of the Board of Abatement that are here at the table, and then we will discuss the 4 hearings that we're going to conduct this afternoon and the order and process in which we will handle those hearings. So beginning at the back, we have, with their back to the camera, is Emily Norway, the city assessor. To the left of her is Sue Ailnick, who's taking minutes of this meeting. And then to the left of her, Donna Kinville, Justice of the Peace. Left of her, Ann Q, Justice of the Peace. Left of her, Tim Barrett, Chair Counsel. Left of him is Jen Oates, Justice of the Peace. Left of her is Elizabeth Fitzgerald, City Council. Left of her is Lynn Vera, Justice of the Peace. Chris Shaw, Justice of the Peace. Next to me, Matthew Vigneault, Justice of the Peace. Next to him is Andrew Chalnick, City Council. Next to him is Holly Reese, City Clerk. And to the left of her, finishing up next to Emily Norway, is Linda Bailey, Justice of the Peace. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you in the back. You're...
Matthew Tower.
And you're here with the city?
I'm here with the city of the finance director.
Thank you. So in addition, we have 2 applicants here in the room, and we'll be going through, and we have 1 applicant online. I'm not sure where the 4th applicant is in process, but we will get that in the following order. According to the agenda, we're going to discuss the abatement request for Q1 Grandview Drive first. Then we're going to discuss in a minute another hearing, 3 Hanover Street. Then we're going to discuss a hearing for 7 Mountain View Boulevard. And then we're going to discuss 104 Hayes Ave in that order. Any questions so far?
Small correction, 9 Mountain View? Or 7 Mountain View?
Mine says 9.
When you are looking at the agenda,
Yep.
I'm looking, yes.
It's 9.
9.
We'll stand corrected. The 3rd hearing will be on 9 Mountain View Boulevard. And that would be Adriana Case. Okay. Very good. So for the process, we're going to open the hearing, and the taxpayer's name, the property location, and the parcel ID number will be specified at the beginning of the hearing. We're going to ask the taxpayer to present first and any of their witnesses. Oftentimes, we'll have a witness as our city assessor, Emily Norway, as I pointed out first, after the taxpayer has presented their evidence. And we will get both of them under oath, the taxpayer and their witnesses, and the city assessor in order to testify. Then we will ask board members on this hearing, each individual hearing, if they have a particular conflict of interest or have engaged in ex parte communications with that applicant to see if they would need to recuse themselves before that hearing. Then we're going to ask the taxpayer if they understand the rules of procedure that I'm going through right now, and whether they have any questions about how the hearing will proceed. And then we're going to ask the taxpayer to identify the statutory abatement category the abatement request is being made on. This was one of the check boxes that was on the cover sheet of the form that you filed the request on. Then we're going to get the verbal and documentary evidence from the taxpayer, and then we're going to have questions from the board for both the assessor and the taxpayer. At the end of the questioning, the hearing will go into deliberative session at the end of all 4 of these hearings. So we have 4 hearings today. This group is going to enter into an executive session, a deliberative session, for the purposes of determining all 4 of those hearings in one batch. So we're going to excuse the applicants after their individual hearing. They will then be notified in writing with a written decision approximately 30 days from today as to the nature of the decision that the board has made. Is that clear to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that procedure? Okay. The decision of the board is a simple majority. In addition, I believe, well, I think we covered it all. All right. Anything I missed, Donna?
The only point that I want to make is ahead of each individual hearing, I just need to conduct the oaths for the applicants, requesters.
Right. Sorry?
Donna.
No, I mean Donna as my vice chair of the board of abatement. I defer to Holly, yes, but I'm looking for the vice chair to tell me when to wrap it up and not go on about the deep history of items that don't matter.
Okay. That's the biggest job.
This will work. Thank you. All right, so let's open the first hearing for Kim McCrae, Q1 Grandview Drive, parcel number 0700-000Q1. It is open.
Okay, so because we now have virtual options, excuse me, I'm just gonna have Lee and Kim each do your affirmation with me ahead of starting. So if you can raise your right hand,
I can't
And
raise
you're
my
gonna
right hand. I raise my left hand.
that's whatever hand is fine. And just repeat after me. Well, actually, you're just gonna say yes or no. So do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause now under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. Or no? Yep, yes. Okay, great. Thank you. And Emily, in case you provide evidence as well, do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause now under consideration shall be the true, whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury? Yes.
Thank you. All right, so what I'd like to do is, for the purposes of documenting the evidence that you've submitted, Lee, if you could help us here, we'd like to number the evidence that you're submitting. If I can, we'll preface it with your hearing number 01, and the first piece of evidence will be your application as 0101. Are you with me on that?
Yes. And my first name is pronounced Leah.
I'm sorry. Thank
That's
you.
okay.
Yeah. And then what I do is the second 0102 piece of evidence would be the letter with the abatement request on the 2-page letter.
Yes.
Okay. And then we reference 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bullet points at the end of that letter. Is that correct?
Correct.
And are we in possession of all of those 9 bullet points?
I am. Yes.
Okay. Let's see if we are as well.
I just want to make the addition that there is the newest property tax bill as well, and the delinquent notice that Leah sent me this morning. So those are in there.
Chris, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So, Kim, the authorization of agent we have says it expired on December 31st, 24. Is Leah still your representative?
Yes.
And Leah, do we have an updated affidavit of that, or?
Kim's expressing her wish that I speak for her today. I would hope the board would consider that sufficient. But
Okay.
the reason why the authorization of agent ended December 31st, 2024 was at that time I was working under a specific grant and the funding ended at that time. Luckily, I was able to find additional funding to help Kim today.
Can we label authorization of agent as item 0103 and note that you have verbally updated it, Kim? Yes or no? Kim?
I didn't hear it, sorry.
Yes, you are authorizing Leah to speak for you
Yes.
on this matter? Thank you.
Yes, on my behalf, yes.
All right. So then, the delinquent tax collector's notice of 8/4/25 would be 01/04. The city of South Burlington delinquent tax notice of 03/22/22 would be 01/05. The delinquent tax notice collectors of 11/20/24 would be 01/06. The city of South Burlington tax bill, I cannot read the tax year, 2022, I believe,
Yep.
is 01/07. The city of South Burlington tax bill for 2023 is 01/08. The city of South Burlington tax bill 2021 is 01/09. And then we have a city of South Burlington tax detailed transaction report. This would appear to be a itemized statement of the taxes for the property, for the parcel. And we will label that 01/10. Moving to the next piece, we have Grandview Acres Condominium Association Incorporated appears to be fees and their invoicing. And we will label that 01/11. We move on to yet another transaction report from the city of South Burlington. This one appears to be dated 10/30/24. And we will label that 01/12. It is a 2-page document. And then we have a Social Security notice that is 1 page with a notation of $968.68. And we will label that 01/13. We have a certificate of death from Vermont. We will label that 01/14. And we have a funeral home invoice, which we will label 01/15. And we have a petition to open decedent's estate, which we will label 01/16. And I believe that is a 2-page, that is a 1-page document. Okay. 2-page document, page 1 of 2, yes. So 01/16 is a 2-page document. And then, we have a letter of general administration. We will label 01/17. We have a certificate of appointment of fiduciary. We will label 01/18. We have a fiduciary's closing report and discharge. We will label 01/19. And we have a Vermont gas system bill. We will label 01/20. We have another Vermont gas system bill. This one dated October 18th through November 12th of 2024. We will label this, what number am I? 01/21. Thank you. And we have a written statement of claim. Name of beneficiary Juliana Hoyt Esquire, 1795 Wilson Road, South Burlington. Written statement of claim, which we will label 01/22. We have another detailed transaction report from the city of South Burlington. This one is also dated 10/30/24. And appears to cover November of 22 through October of 24. And we'll label that 2-page document 0123. We further have a Burlington Electric Department bill or balance due of 2781. We will label 0124. We have a Grandview Condo Association dated 7/27/2021. We will label 0125. We have a Grandview Condo Association dated 9/26/2023 statement. We will label 0126. We have Grandview Condo Association statement dated December 31st, 2023. We will label 0127. We have a Grandview Acres Condo Association statement dated August 27th, 2024. We will label 0128. We have Grandview Condos Association statement dated 10/30/24. We will label 0129. And we have a Grandview Commons statement also dated 10/30/21. Is this a duplicate?
It could be.
It appears to be a duplicate.
We don't have a.
Yeah, I don't know that, Chris.
Okay, so we're going to stop at 0129.
Just a quick statement, between 0122 and 0123, we seem to have a page, a back page here, and I don't know what it is.
The RCMC.
Oh, the RCMC.
I think it's just the back of 20, like GW Savage. Or the numbers the same, the amount of things on the page, but it's the back of them.
1185.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I see it.
does it exist or does it not exist?
It exists, but
It
it's part of the
exists,
document.
it's part of the document, the 2-page document as
Okay,
opposed to
the
one.
2-page document. Thank you. All right, so 0122 has both front and back. That's listening. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate it. Leah, have we gotten all the documents in our possession that you would like us to have in your possession, in our possession?
Yes, I have. And I hope you have. Yes, I am glad that the addition of the updated delinquency notice was provided. Thank you very much for that. So I think we're all set with these exhibits as I've produced them to you.
And can you reference which number is the updated delinquency notice?
Believe that was 0104.
0104.
That's the most recent delinquency notice dated August 4th, 2025.
For the $11,660.17.
Correct. That is the amount that we are requesting the board consider abating today.
Okay. So we've given the oath. What statutory abatement category are you requesting this under?
So we're requesting under two criteria under the statute. The first is taxes of persons who have died insolvent, 24 VSA 1535A1. And the second criterion is taxes of persons who are unable to pay their taxes, interest, and collection fees, 24 VSA 1535A3.
Unable to pay?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And forgive me for a sidebar for a second here, but I have failed to ask if there are any members of the Board of Abatement that need to recuse themselves, that have had a conflict of interest or ex parte communication on this hearing on Q1 Grandview. No?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Leah. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Is there other testimony you'd like to give us?
Well, so as an attorney, I'm not testifying today, but I'm simply providing context and advocacy for Ms. McRae. The board can thank you very much to the board for hearing Kim's story today. The advocacy letter that we submitted dated 11/27/24, that should be Exhibit 2, lays out exactly why we hope the board will find that Kim's request meets the criteria for abatement here. Firstly, Kim's mother was the previous owner of the property and she passed away insolvent. You can see, see if I can get to it quickly, to Exhibit 14. This is the death certificate for Kim's mother, Phyllis. She died on March 16th, 2022. And you can see if you look at Exhibit 16, that is the petition to open decedent's estate. You can see that she died with the real estate, the condo, but her personal estate was only worth $1,000. So in my book, that's insolvent. There was just no way for the estate to pay for the taxes associated with this property. You can see if you look at Exhibit, I think it's 26, and assorted, these are the condo fees that were piling up because the estate could not afford to pay. So overall, the estate was broke. There was no way that Kim, who was the executrix of the estate, could pay the associated fees. So that is the first reason. The second reason is that Kim's mother left her this property. It was the only thing that she had of her mother's. And Kim has fought for years now, essentially, to keep the property. As you can see from Exhibit 13, Kim's only source of income is supplemental security income. She is disabled and she suffered a stroke several years ago. She still feels the effect from that. But her ability to pay the $11,000 and change that is now due is almost impossible. She was not able to file for the homestead exemption property tax credit after her mother passed, but before the probate court finalized the administration of the estate, because she was not the listed owner yet. So there was no way for her to have any sort of relief when it came to paying the taxes associated with the property. There was simply nothing she could do here. She took out quite a bit in, you can see she had a lot of expenses associated with the condo, the utilities and things like that, to keep it in good shape so that it didn't fall into disrepair while she was trying to finalize her mother's estate. So there's an impossibility here. There was no way she could prevent the bill from piling up because of her limited income, because she wasn't the listed owner until the probate matter was settled, and because her mother's estate had no money. So that is why we're here today asking the board to abate these the delinquency, because there was simply nothing that Kim could do to prevent this from happening. So right now, Kim is the owner of the property. The probate matter has been settled. The court has determined that she has inherited the property, and she is able to now file for her homestead exemption property tax credit, so that going forward, this is not going to happen again, because she now is being taxed at the appropriate rate, and she's getting the property tax credit based on her very low income, so that it's manageable for her going forward. So we hope the board understands this is not something that was due to neglect or due to simply just failure to take advantage of opportunities to make payments. This was, Kim had very little to work with. She couldn't use the processes that were in place to help low-income homeowners, and the estate had no money. So that's why we're here today, for all of those reasons.
Thank you, Leah. A quick question on the basis of the probate and the executor for the estate, which might tie into it. How was that tied up for so long? Who was the executor, and can the executor not file that homestead declaration directly?
I was not her attorney for the probate matter. What was expressed to me as I was helping Kim with this abatement was that she was unable to file for the homestead because she was not the listed owner and the property owner was deceased.
And you don't know if an executor for the estate could file that homestead declaration on behalf of the decedent.
I
No.
did not assist her with doing that. Kim, did you had an
No.
attorney for that?
I had a probate attorney. So what
Okay.
is the question exactly, please?
Could the probate attorney have filed for the homestead declaration?
No, because my name wasn't on the deed, and then my name was only on the deed after I came out of probate.
So I'm trying to understand why, when a person dies and the name is in that person, that the executor of the estate or perhaps the probate attorney can't then file on their behalf.
There's no way because it's the deed wasn't in my name. I can't say it any other way. I wasn't able to get anything because
All right.
the deed wasn't in my name. That's all I can say. The attorney would have certainly did it, but she couldn't because I could not get no relief because it wasn't in my name.
All right. Thanks.
And I was the
An estate is
executor.
entitled
So
to a homestead exemption?
Hang on, that may be the key point, I think, and Donna was.
I was gonna say that, there have been cases where things are in probate, where you can look at the deed and it tells you the succession, but if you had a will or something that stated you were the sole beneficiary, I think that would have been enough to file the probate request with the state.
no, they couldn't do it. I had my mother's accountant. I told him, and he said, "You can't get that unless the deed's in your name." So there was nothing my attorney could not do unless my deed was on it. I don't want to repeat the same thing. Sorry, that's all I do know.
Oh, that's
So-
great. Thank you.
So
Go
just
ahead,
as an
Linda.
just as an aside, I think Kim asked about that very thing because that would make sense. I don't know whether at the time there's a bit of time traveling here happening, but she was provided information from professionals that told her she couldn't do that. So that's kind of why it didn't
Yeah.
happen.
My mother's accountant, after she died, I asked him about it. I said I needed to get it. He said to me that, he would find out from the state, and he found out and said, no, it can't be done because your name's not on the deed. And my lawyer was a very good lawyer, so she would have easily done that, but she couldn't because my name, that's all I know.
Great, thank you. I'm gonna ask the board if they have questions, so let me start with Lynn Barrett.
Hi, Kim. Thank you, and I'm sorry for your loss of your mom. I do have a question, though. When she died in the respite house, was there anyone living in the condo?
I was not officially living in the condo. I
Yeah.
transitioned out of my apartment. Once my name was on the deed, before the name came on the deed, I transitioned out of my apartment. So no, I wasn't living there at the time she was in the respite. I was just
So
helping her
maybe
out.
Like
Huh?
nobody was being able maybe to pay rent?
Well,
in
actually,
the condo?
there was disrepair in the house, so there was renovation going on. I couldn't have lived there anyway.
Okay, thanks.
And Tim Barrett.
Yeah, hi, Kim.
Hi.
So after your mother passed away, did the tax bills continue to arrive in her name sent to that address?
Yes, everything kept coming.
So the problem is that you couldn't
I
apply
kept-
for the
I'm sorry.
homestead because she couldn't sign her name on a homestead application at the time that income taxes were still.
No, she couldn't get the COVID thing because they don't get the deceased. She couldn't get no relief because my name wasn't on I didn't live in the home at the time with her. I was living in an apartment.
But the homestead has to be filed and signed by the persons whose name is on the deed, probably, right?
Exactly,
Or
that's
the tax state, huh? The tax bill, right? Yeah. Thank you.
And you're free to call my attorney, my past attorney, who's listed there, and she could definitely tell you if you wanted to know why. She would have if she could, but she
That-
could.
That's
Would
fine,
that
Kim.
be Julia Hoyt, Leah?
Yes, that's the attorney from Hoyt and Jarrett. She
Yep.
was the previous attorney. But for right now though, I think the Kim was told one thing about the possibility by professionals that she couldn't file, that the estate could not file. My understanding, I don't settle estates, but my basic understanding of the property tax credit process and homestead exemption is that it's an actual live person who's domiciled in that
Exactly.
place as the principal place of residence.
Yes,
So if they're dead, then there's no
That's
body
right.
that's domiciled. But
right.
either way, Kim was
That's
told one
what-
thing.
yeah.
It could be something else, but right now that's what Kim was told.
Okay, so two other quick questions. When did Kim move into the apartment, to do the condominium, number one? And number two, what is the status of the outstanding condominium fees and electrical bills or other fees?
Okay, I moved in the condo officially several months before April 1st. So my official address, I moved out of my apartment and moved into the condo several months because I had access to the condo for 2 years, but they were fixing it up, renovating, etc. I had to get my stuff in there. So I was there well before the 1st. I
April
could have been there anytime,
of,
but
of this year? April
April
1st,
1st.
2025?
I don't know, I get confused about dates because, so Leah, I don't want to answer the wrong thing. I get confused about dates.
So Kim was in residence in the property as of April 1st of this year.
Right,
She moved gradually over the course of several months after the property was fit for habitation because she said it was under renovation.
And who paid for the renovation, Leah?
she doesn't know, the insurance paid because there was a flood in my mother's house all the same time. About before she got sick, and it's a whole long story, but yeah.
That's a little unclear. Could you rephrase that? The insurance paid for?
Okay, the insurance, my mother had condo insurance. She had a terrible flood before she passed. Um, a terrible flood when she wasn't sick. And the crash through the upper floor of the bathroom, 2 leaks from the toilet and from the sink, and it crashed through and destroyed basically the whole bottom kitchen, the rugs, everything. So we had all kinds of damage in there. And she had two insurances, the homeowners insurance for the Grandview Acres insurance. She had that. And they gave several thousand for that. And Allstate, she had a policy. So both, they had to do mold. It was in total disrepair. They had to do mold remediation. They had to do air quality, all kinds of things where I couldn't even be in there anyway
Thank you. And
at that time.
And the condo fees and the electrical bills, what is the status of that now?
Oh, what I've been doing is I've been working with my bank. It's now called Green Mountain Credit Union, but was Opportunities. I've been in the Money Sense program for 2 years, and they've been helping me get through probate, credit card debt, trying to help me to get to the point where I'm able to pay my bills with the low income I have with no effort. So that's what our goal is. So I've been working with Catherine Benson at Green Mountain Credit Union for 2 years. And that's why I get loans, pay them off, then get a little small loan, pay them off. Then they use the credit cards, and she tells me, it's a loan counselor budget. That's why I think I know I can pay it because I'll be to the point with Money Sense helping me. The bank is 100% behind me, and they've gone through the whole probate process with me and helped me with small loans that I could pay off and that kind of thing.
Other questions from the board? Donna?
So Kim, if this abatement goes away, this tax bill goes away and you go to the future, what is your probability of being able to keep paying the taxes?
My probability is like 99.9% after what I've been through. I'm working with the Money Sense program, and I'll be able to only pay a few bills. I'll be able to pay at the lower rate of the tax. Oh, it's going to be 1,400 for the whole year now, 450 3 times. I can easily work with them to do a budget. That's what I plan to do with my counselor, to do a budget and stay on budget. And I will hardly have, after all this, I will hardly have any bills. But right now, I guess the answer to your question is Money Sense been helping me along, and the bank's been helping me along. So I'll be able to, with them, have a budget. I only have to pay $265 for dues, and I only have to pay gas and electric and phone. So it's going to be easy for me to make that payment 3 times. Very easy, even though I have low income.
So Kim has a plan. She has a plan to and a budget going forward, and she's calculated her low income with the property tax credit in mind and how that fits in with the condo fee and all the utilities.
Thank you. Hang on, Andrew, do we have a question? Andrew Chalmers?
Yeah, hi, Kim, hi, Leah. Is there a mortgage against the property? Do you hold it free and clear?
Free and clear.
Thank you. Elizabeth Fitzgerald?
Hi, just a quick question, Kim. Was your mother able to stay in the condo for a period of time after the flooding occurred?
Well, let's say like this, she had to vacate, but we didn't want her to vacate on a stretcher, but she did. She was rushed to the hospital. She was diagnosed with AFib. She wound up in Elderwood. It was a series of things before I even knew she had dementia. So there was a long period of a downward spiral there.
Thank you. Other questions from the board? Ann Pugh?
As others have said, Kim, losing one's mom is always hard. And as you said, you're very low income. I live up the street at Treetops. Your condo dues are $4,200 a year. The income that you say you have, I'm not very good at math, is give or take $12,000 a year.
Right.
Electricity at best is
$50.
probably 100.
No, not that much. Not that much a month for that condo. But it's about 50, 60. Yeah. Not 100, no.
Okay. Part of what I'm trying to understand is, and maybe I have my dates wrong. Your mom died in 22,
Yes.
2022, and this
Yes.
is 2025. There were 3 years when the taxes were not paid and no one asked for them to be abated. And I'm wondering what was happening then.
If you tell me the year, I'll be able to tell you. It was a long downward spiral over a year of going downhill. And I took care of her at my apartment and then went to, so it's a long period of time. So let's go from this flood I talked about, because that's initially where it started. In July of, I forget the years, but what would it be? She died in 22. So about when COVID, she got 2 shots for COVID. So around when they got the vaccines, what was that, 21 or something?
So hang on, Kim. Let me go back. Let me clarify. Are you asking about any abatement request after Kim's mother's passed away?
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kim, what the question is why was a request not made for abatement after your mother passed to now? And I think, do you understand what I'm asking?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I did not know anything about abatement. I was overwhelmed with probate. It was overwhelming, and I was working with the bank. So no, I did not know about abatement till I found out from you. I didn't know anything because I had so many bills to pay phenomenal amount of bills in probate, the lawyer, the funeral, the this, the that, that I was overwhelmed. I was going step by step. I didn't even know what I was doing, but trying to resolve. I didn't know what the probate process was. So I didn't know enough to know that I could put in for this.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
Lynn Barrett.
Hi, Kim. Emily is our tax collector for the city. And I wonder, Emily, is there in this situation when someone died and the apartment's not, or the home isn't even inhabitable because of damage, isn't there something from the tax department in South Burlington that waives any late fees or penalties?
No, there is not.
That's just a personal meeting that arrives at that situation?
The waive penalty and interest.
Mm-hmm.
That is a form that gets filled out and submitted to the city manager, and it's for just to waive that.
So was there ever a meeting with the tax office and Kim?
Oh.
Kim was in contact.
Oh,
with
I
us.
understand what you're getting at.
Her mother
This is,
passed away.
oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so can you share the city's process in that?
There's not a lot that we can do. She kept us informed of what was happening. We are not able to waive penalties and interest. Typically that is on a case by case basis.
Right, I'm aware.
For one installment. And it's for someone that cannot pay their tax installment because they are in the hospital or something that they're physically unable to pay their taxes for that installment amount, and it's in the city charter. So that's back, and it's up to the city manager. And that's typically for one installment, not 3 or 4 for 2 years.
And was the city manager appraised of this situation, or as far as you know, no?
No.
Can I say one thing,
Somebody can
please?
fill out that form and submit it to us.
Hang on,
Go
Kim,
ahead.
1 sec.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Emily,
okay.
Emily, I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you. Could you say again the last couple of sentences? I just couldn't hear you because I think you were facing.
About the penalty waiver,
Yeah,
typically it's for an installment, one installment, that is missed. And it actually needs to be paid, for it to be considered, it needs to be paid within 30 days. And it's typically used for someone who physically cannot pay that installment by the due date. Either they're in the hospital or have an accident or something. And
okay,
that's the city manager to approve.
okay, thank you. Sorry, go ahead,
Right.
Kim.
Sorry. We
I
have
think
another
I
question.
think I understand pretty much what you're saying in a way. I may be getting off. I was constantly in touch with Martha, constantly in touch with Emily all the time. Hey, I'm in probate. I know I owe taxes. It's not that I just let it go, and they can attest, Martha and Emily can attest to the fact I was on the phone all the time, or email, hey, I want to pay these taxes. It's not just that I left them and just said, forget about them. No, I was constantly apprising of my situation. And then I said, when I go out of probate, I'll be able to handle it. By that time, I wasn't able to handle it, because I hadn't paid so much in lawyers' fees and all these fees and debts, credit card debts and everything.
Thank you. Matthew Vigno had a question.
When do you have the date of when it cleared probate?
So if you look at exhibit, I think it's 819, it shows the fiduciary's closing report and discharge.
Okay.
So that was November 14th, 2024, when the court cleared the property. And you can see the date of our request was made November 27th, 2024.
Okay, thank you, man.
And one other question, is a line of credit on the existing value of the condominium an option?
Me?
Yes.
No, because my income is so low that it's not really a viable option for me in terms of what I can do with the bank right now because my income is low, but I am able to pay the taxes now because I was mommy's power of attorney before. And as if you can see, I paid up when it was $350. I paid up, but when it got to $1,200, I didn't even know about the April 1st thing. I put in for money for the relief for the COVID. They said the deceased person, you're not eligible. It's always been, I'm not eligible for nothing. But the answer is my income is too low for that to be a viable option.
Thank
Do
you. And,
do you
and
mean-
Leah, I have another question as to whether another financial instrument, not one I would recommend, but they talk about reverse mortgages. Is that an option?
Right now, I don't know the rules, but it's a crazy option because you need to have the Grandview people. I don't really know the details, but when I looked into it when my mother was alive for her, it was so complicated in a Grandview Acres, they didn't even have somebody to do it, and it was out of state that you had to go to Chicago. It was like unbelievable. So that's not a viable option for me at all. Because I looked into it for my mother.
Can I ask just a clarifying, when you said line of equity, are you talking about a home like HELOC? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I'm looking at the value of the property, I'm looking at the present housing market and wondering why it would have to be kept protected as a equity value when maybe it could be leveraged for you.
I see. Well, as Kim mentioned, she's working with her credit union on various financial instruments that are smaller that can help her advance some credit so that she can make payments and then she pays the bank. So she has.
Do they involve this property? Do they
We don't-
involve this? Yes.
I don't know. I'm not sure. So Kim has the opportunity to speak with financial advisors, and she will leave no stone unturned, as you can tell from this packet of information and her very frequent communications with your tax department. So I do want to express to the board that, you know, as Kim said, this was not due to neglect. Kim lost her mother. She was very close with her mother. She was her mother's power of attorney. Her mother was very sick, and the apartment was not in good shape for a while due to damage. And Kim did everything she could to try to keep the property because it was the only thing left of her mother's. And a home in this economy is priceless, frankly. Kim's, as you can see, she is low income. There's no way she could afford market rent. The last wonderful thing her mother did was to ensure that Kim would have a home. So we asked the board to consider to abate this so that Kim can keep her home. And that to us is the most important thing.
Thank you. Other questions from the board of Kim or Leah, or questions for Emily from the board? Absent any questions from the board, does the board feel we have enough information to make a decision? Or do we need further information that has not been presented?
I think we have.
All right, then I'd move that we close the hearing, and when we go into deliberative session later on today, we will arrive at a decision and give you a written response approximately 30 days from today. Does that work for you folks?
It does. And thank you very much to all of you for taking the time.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do we need a break, or can we move into hearing two?
Keep going.
Keep going.
All right. We're gonna move on to open hearing number 2 involving Adam Newton, 3 Hanover Street, number B, parcel number 076000204. Is the applicant here? Adam, thank you. We're gonna need to swear you in. We're gonna we don't need to swear in Emily again, do we?
Nope.
Okay, and will, your,
My, domestic partner.
will she need to be sworn in as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jessica and Adam, will swear you in. I'm gonna ask quickly, the board members, if anybody needs to recuse themselves based on, ex parte communications with Adam and all, and or Emily about this property or, anything. No? Okay, great. Then Holly, please.
So, do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause now under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so if you understand the process, you followed a little bit as we hear, I'll just review it quickly. We're going to ask you to take the oath, and then you've got an idea of what our process is. What is the statutory abatement category that you're making this request on?
The second one that you had mentioned, unable to pay.
Unable to pay?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, that's very straightforward. We have your evidence packet, perhaps not as prolific as the last hearing.
Right.
In fact, I have just the form for the hearing.
Right, and I just wanted to add a couple verbal things.
Go for it.
Testimony.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say is that our actual taxes are paid, and we have the ability to pay those on
The homestead.
with the homestead, and we can pay the whole taxes at the end of the year when we get our taxes, after we do our income taxes. And we did do that this year. It's the penalties that we cannot afford. We just barely get by. I'm disabled. She works for UPS.
Yeah.
And we have a child. We have 4 children, 3 of which are on their own now.
One's autistic.
And our son who's known is autistic, so, we struggle financially. I inherited the duplex. One half of the duplex is in disrepair. To get one side that we live in into livable repair, I had to take a mortgage out, with both of our credits.
Yeah.
And we just barely slide by. And it's really difficult, and, we literally count pennies.
So you don't have a tenant in A?
No.
Okay, but you could if it was.
Eventually, if I could take a bigger mortgage, well, I'm currently in college.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get off disability to where I can do a sit down and get a job, remotely, hopefully. So I'm about 2.5 years away from that, from getting my bachelor's in IT. And, so we have, a plan going forward to eventually be able to be completely financially stable. For the next few years, it would be really, we can pay our taxes, we just can't pay our penalties, and we can only pay it once a year.
Right, and I think what the board would be looking for would be, are you presently owing money? And we'll ask Emily, the city assessor, are you presently owing money to the city in the form of, I'm sorry?
200.
For the penalties,
Yeah, so no.
My taxes last year covered our taxes.
Our income tax would cover the taxes at the end.
The refund, so
Yeah.
Refund.
we're gonna look to get a number from the city
Okay,
assessor.
sure.
We would have liked to hear it from you, but you're saying, do you have the exact number of
210, yeah.
210? Okay, and so what you're looking
Yeah.
for in an abatement is the 210.
Right, and then going forward, not to accrue penalties, and then on our income taxes, we will take care of the whole year's taxes every
Right.
year.
It's always the same time, whenever I do taxes, it's usually right on that month. And it's usually the full amount of what was asked on the tax.
Like we did last year.
I think we have the picture of what you're looking for today, which is
Yeah.
the 210. I'm gonna turn to Emily at this point and ask her to verify the 210 or any dollar cents that goes with that is owed on 3 Hanover.
$277.34.
277 and 34. And does that represent additional penalty from where they might have gotten a statement that said 210?
Interest is applied, monthly, and that's 1%.
Okay, and does this apply to both A and B?
Yes, it's considered one parcel.
It's considered one unit, thank you.
Can I just add one more?
Go ahead,
thing?
yeah.
My great grandfather built the house, and it's always been in our family.
Mhm.
So basically, never been rented out, so it's never really gone by code. But in order to bring my side up to code, then I'm gonna have to bring the other side completely up to code as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it is,
And that's what we're trying to do now.
yeah. And on top, it's just sliding by, so going forward, we will be independent. We don't get any state assistance whatsoever, not one.
Being close to the airport, you know, the Airbnbs now.
Yeah.
My good friend has a duplex that he does Airbnb, but they also have very strict fire regulations.
But Lynn, go ahead.
Emily, my question has to do with where the bill falls. I know, cause I live here too, and we pay it, whatever, 3 times a year. How could it, or would it work for someone to pay in when you get your taxes back?
It's usually roughly,
About March,
So you
March,
file
April.
pretty quick.
yeah,
yeah,
And then
I've
you
already
wait.
filed for this year.
Yeah, so I know that we're not on that schedule. Is there a way?
Fiscal schedule.
Yeah,
I guess if you can get ahead of it and use your
Prepay.
tax money from the previous spring to pay for the upcoming taxes, I think that would be the best way.
Yeah, it's virtually impossible. I mean,
yeah, we literally.
I'm not even exaggerating.
Given.
And I have a credit card that I'm constantly catching up with because in day-to-day things.
Right,
well, that's true.
yeah,
It's tough.
yeah, it's fine, it's like.
We have budgets on every one of our bills.
Let's get a question.
Yearly
from Andrew here. Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, maybe it's a question just, so this is for property tax abatement, right? And what's being requested is an abatement of fees, penalties, which I know is a separate process that's in Jesse's jurisdiction to waive penalties. Is that even within the scope of our jurisdiction, or is that through Jesse?
I try.
Going forward,
Yeah.
and let me ask Emily, going forward, can Jesse work out a payment plan or waiving of certain penalties of that sort?
Yeah, Adam did apply for a penalty waiver, it was denied.
Okay,
And anyone can make a payment plan. So if people can pay as much as they want, whenever they want, and it'll be applied to the balance. And then any interest will be applied to that balance. So if you can make payments, no matter how little, that's less interest that's being applied.
So we have the authority, the board, to effectively overrule Jesse's denial.
To abate them, yeah.
Captain fact.
Being that it's a couple of months late when we paid the year of taxes. But being that I paid pretty much within the same year, I feel like I shouldn't be, being that we are very low income, that it would be really good if we didn't accrue penalties at all, because I feel like we're paying before the taxes of that year, a couple months after it's actually due.
I hear you.
Do I deserve a year's worth of penalties when I pay it almost in the same year?
Let's take a question from Donna here.
Okay, so on that, I hear you understand, but the charter says, so it's been a vote by the town that we shall charge interest after each
I
installment.
understand.
So that being said, so if we were to abate this and get you straight again, or clear this up, next year you're gonna be back again? For next half year?
I would go through it all again to save that money. That's how desperate we are, you know, I'm trying to make more money going forward.
Medicaid help, I don't get any of that,
Yeah, we don't even have teeth, our teeth rotted out of our head, because we can't afford it. I have fake teeth, she has fake teeth.
I'm trying to just get by, that's it, and have a place for our son to live until we're out of here on Saturday instead. That's pretty much what we're trying
And I'd
to
like to probably sell and maybe move out one day or rent out the other side. I don't know what our plan is. Our son, we have good education here, and I really want to get him through high school.
And how old is he?
do.
Certain,
Thank you.
I would love to say that I do love South Burlington. I love it, the whole 13 or 14 years that we lived here. And the schools are great.
and the IEPs with him have been wonderful. And that's why we try to stay here.
That's hard. Questions from the board, for Emily or for Adam?
Do you guys have a mortgage on? You already do.
Yeah, we owe about 57,000. It took to get everything on our side up to,
Yeah.
on the other side, we're just kind of tackle it little by little on our own.
Yeah.
Like me, literally down and stuff and saving every place we can.
Yeah.
But where I have to do certified,
You know? what-
7%. And it's a ridiculous mortgage at 802 Credit Union, and the way that, I mean, I don't know if this is the way it is with every mortgage, but we pay off them first mostly, and then we pay
Everything else.
the balance in the later half of the 15 years.
Any other questions from the board for Adam or Emily?
Emily, when Jesse denies the waiver petition, does she provide any rationale, or is it just an up or down?
Denied.
It's an up or down,
Okay.
and then we, provide the language in that they charter.
Okay. Thank you.
Fair enough. Any other thoughts? Does the board have enough information to make a decision? Okay,
Thank you so much.
all right, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Jessica, please.
Okay, Maggie.
Again, we give you a written decision in about 30 days.
Wonderful.
Thank you
so
very much. Does anybody need a break, or shall we move to hearing number
We
3?
need to be sensitive to time, or are you this evening at some point?
So.
Yeah.
We go right to-
We need to have a forum. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna, close hearing 2 therefore, and we're gonna open hearing 3, Adriana Cadence, 9 Mountain View Boulevard. And parcel number 120000009. Is Adriana, where is that? Okay. Adriana, are you familiar with our procedures and process?
This is the first time I've done anything like this in my whole life.
Okay, we're gonna open the hearing, as was heard, we're just, specifying you as a taxpayer, the property location, of parcel ID. We're going to ask you to take an oath, because we're gonna testify under oath. We're gonna use the information that you've, given us, we're gonna number it as evidence. We're then going to ask our board if they have any conflict of interest, somebody who knows you personally, or talk to you about your property, et cetera. And then we're going to ask you what category you're requesting, the abatement under the state statutes, and I think if you check it off on your box, you'll tell us that you're unable to pay your taxes, as box 3 there. And then, you're gonna present verbal and documentary, which has already given us evidence about, the abatement request. And then we're gonna question you, as we just did with, Adam and Jessica. And, we're going to then probably also talk to Emily, our city assessor, as another testifier. And we will then close the hearing, and later on today, we're gonna have a deliberative session, which will go through all 4 of our hearings, and then we're gonna have a written decision that will be delivered to you within about 30 days. So, thank you. Okay, so let's start with having you take the oath.
Okay, please solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause now under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury. I'm just gonna give you your original facts, so you have those.
So, again, we're gonna go through, marking your evidence that you've delivered as far as paperwork, Adriana. We're gonna go with, your hearing number 3, so we're gonna mark, the evidence on your abatement hearing of the request form and go 301. The one where you checked off box 3. Then we have an email from Holly Reese, to Holly Reese from you that we will mark as 03-02.
Next page is a duplicate of that.
Next page is the same thing.
Which is also 0302, the duplicate of the same email. Then we have a City of South Burlington tax year 2025 tax bills, which we will mark as 0303. A quick claim deed, which we will mark as 0304. And that goes to 2 pages. 0304, the quick claim. It goes to 4 pages, I'm sorry, 3 pages, 0304, for the quick claim deed. And then we have a Wick and Maddox attorneys at law dated 11 April 30th, 2025. We're gonna label 03, we have to 5. And then we're going to the State Department of Taxes, October 3rd, 2024, 0306. We're going to have State Department of Taxes, October 2nd, 2024, 0307. State Department of Taxes, September 10th, 2024, 0308. Tax Form 923, State of Vermont. September 25th, 2024, 0309, you will label that. State Department of Taxes, September 30th, 2024, 0310. State Department of Taxes, September 30th, is this the same one? No, it's page 2 of.
So Christmas and Sandy's 03 as well, I think.
It does appear to be the same as 0307.
So it's got a different number of the, but
The taxpayer ID matches 6749.
first, maybe some.
We will give it a different number. We're gonna give
311.
0311, thank you, Jen. And we'll then go to August 2nd, 2024, and label that one as State Department of Taxes 0312. Going to July 2nd, 2024, we're gonna label that one 0313. State Department of Taxes, July 1st, 2024, we're labeling that 0314. State Department of Taxes, June 19th, 2024, we're gonna label that 0315. State Department of Taxes, June 4th, 2024, we're gonna label that 0316. State Department of Taxes, June 3rd, we have 2 pages for this, second collection notice. We'll label both pages, 0317. State Department of Taxes, May 2nd, we have 2 pages here. We're gonna go with 0318 to both pages. We have taxpayer advocate tax email, we will label 0319. The email, this was, you can move on to the next slide. It's part of the same one, so 2 pages for the email for the taxpayer advocate. 0319, State Department of Taxes, April 2nd, we have 2 pages, we're gonna label now 0320. State Department of Taxes, March 4th, 2024, 0321, and then we opt to page 3 of something. Page 3 of.
March 4th, date on.
Yeah, I think it's 21.
So we'll label page 30321, even though we don't even know what page 2 is. Fair enough. Moving to, there's March 4th on the next page. So we will label that one also 0321. So we now have 3 pages labeled 0321. For March 4th, 2024. We're now on March 6th of 2024. We're gonna label that one 0322. March 1st of 2024, we're gonna label that one 0323. March 1st is on the next page. And a duplicate, we will also label that 0323. It doesn't have the handwritten notation on it at the top of one. The previous one does. $2,208 credit towards 2024 with South Burlington. So the two separate. And then we have March 1st. A third page, which would appear to be the same 0323 label. So once again, we're going to label 3 pages 0323. That last one is the State Department of Taxes, March 1st, 2024. Moving to free federal tax return USA 2024, we'll label that 0324.
That return continues for.
And we will label the entire return 0324. Which is on 2 pages, 3 pages now, 4 pages now, 5 pages now, 6 pages now, 7 pages now, 8 pages now, 9 pages now, 10 pages now, 11 pages now. This is all 0324. We're now on to earned income credit, which would be at lost count. It's still 0324, but the 12th page. 0324 for qualifying children and other dependents. 13th page. 0324 for the continuation of qualifying dependents. 0324 for qualified business income deduction, simplified computation, which is, I believe, either page 14 or 15 of the tax returns. Depreciation and amortization will also be 0324. Next page for depreciation continues, 0324. And then worksheets for depreciation schedule fee, 0324 for those 2 worksheets. For that, electrolysis. And we now go 0325 for the federal tax return for 2023 and the continuing pages. So 0325 federal tax return. There appear to be a number of pages on this, which I think they should follow the same format. These labeled them 0325.
Okay.
That's right so far? Okay.
You want to make it 2022.
Okay. We're gonna have to label that one. Whole new number.
Yep.
All right, federal tax return 2022, and its ensuing pages will be exhibit 0326. And that would be it. Is that correct, Adriana? All right, including the de minimis safe harbor election. Good Lord, it couldn't be good. All right, so now that we have the exhibits labeled and given us all this documentation, thank you. A lot of work.
Thank you.
And can you give us the summary of your request for a date?
So from the very beginning of the Vermont State Tax Communication, I received a letter from the Vermont State Department of Taxes in early 2024. It looks like I think they did on that first one of March 1st. So they adjusted my property tax credit to agree with records on file. And here's where the story of the really horrible mistake comes in. So I declared 100% ownership on the property, but I was under the impression that I could do that. However, going back in with, I talked to a client of mine, I talked to my parents, who swore that I'd done the right thing, but apparently I hadn't. You can only declare 100% ownership in the scenario in which my parents are the co-owner on the mortgage. So in order to declare 100% ownership, it has to be that your parents are living in the home and you co-fund it. It can't be that you're living in the home and your parents co-fund it. It only goes in one direction. However, I did not know that. I'm a first-time homeowner. I had no idea. I didn't know. I've never filed a homestead declaration. It was an honest and one that I deeply regret making. And I should not have. My mom is incredible at taxes and finance, and I really wish that I had not taken her advice. I really wish that I had done it for her. But even when I was reading the statute and I read it, reading it at a quick glance, I thought I was doing the right thing. So here comes the state of Vermont. The state of Vermont says, well, you filed the homestead declaration incorrectly. And they're telling me this at the beginning at the beginning of 2024, March 1st, I think is when the letter came. They're saying, you filed the homestead declaration wrong from your property in 2022 and 2023 and for this year. So we're going back and we're correcting it. And the resulting error was that I ended up owing them, I think it says in here, $7,601 in tax. The state of Vermont, which I was very upset. I tried to work with their taxpayer advocate. I tried to work with their abatement proceedings, which take a very long time. By the time my case would come up for abatement, I was already receiving phone calls, emails threatening to revoke my professional license practice for unpaid property taxes, which I would say, how do you want your property taxes paid if I have no job, if I have no income? What would you like me to pay them? You know, you can't get blood from stone. Like there's no way. So because I was scared, I have a professional electrologist license in the state of Vermont. They were threatening to take it. So I was licensed in excellent standing practice for 16 years. I couldn't lose my license because I had no job. I didn't know where to support my kids. So this got really bad, and it resulted in me taking money from my income tax return, money that I saved throughout this past year or so to pay the state of Vermont back, but I felt like I had to take them because they were barking on a deal. They wanted their money. I don't really think they needed their $7,000. For any scheme of things, I don't think it was that important. The number of people that commit tax fraud in the state of Vermont, I couldn't believe it. And they were just very hard to work with. They were really mean. They were really awful. I lost a lot of sleep over this. It's like, you know, I put the tax returns with this. You can see my income, you know, for this year, $20,208. No, that's my adjusted gross income for the year. Year before, $29,184. Year before that, year ago, I know, $30,231. Like, I'm going from single parent. I have my own business. I worked in the city of South Burlington and lived in the city of South Burlington for about 11 years. I rented a house before this. The only reason I bought a house during COVID was the reason being that house I rented for almost 7 years. I sold the house right out from under me. There's not homeless. There's nowhere to go. I looked for rentals. I could not get a rental. I couldn't get a rental with a 750 credit score and 2 jobs. Couldn't get it because I have a dog and 2. So I lived with some friends, and I lived with my parents for a little while. Then I think my parents, you know, didn't want me living in their basement forever, so they offered to sign a mortgage to help me get a house. And that's one of the only, you know, super helpful things they've done for me in all of my time, you know, other than helping with my kids and stuff like that. That's the only help they're supposed to do. That's the only help they could offer me. So they offered that help, and I took it. I feel like I got in really hard in my head really quickly about a house that needed a lot of repairs, had significant credit card debt because of that. My dad's done some work on my house, so we still have to buy materials, and so, yeah, I have a lot of money on a Home Depot card. I have a lot of money on a Discover card. I have a lot of money on a Lowe's card. You can make my house what I bought habits with religion. I bought a house that had a non-functional bathroom. That wasn't even livable. The woman who lived in my house was super elderly and she died. And like no one in her family was taking care of her, and the house was in bad shape. But I mean, it was the only house I could get during COVID. I did the best I could. But I will say this, like, I love living in South Burlington. I've had my business here I worked right up on the corner of Passion Road and Lake Street out in the salon. My kids go to school here for 11 years. I wanted my kids to go to school here because my kids are both in special education.
without mentioning the autism, it's a really incredible opportunity. My son's going to college, and I got
7,000, they're gonna say, good, you're done, you paid 2,500.
they took my income tax return, they took my property tax rebate, they took my state tax
So
return.
they didn't give you any abatement?
No.
They
No,
just
they
said,
don't make it.
you got all your money.
Yeah,
Still owe
they
them.
got all my money towards the end of the communication, you can see with them, they finally sent me an offer saying, if you rescind your abatement and pay us this money, at which point you already threatened to take my.
Yeah, no, I see it.
Yeah,
So then
They
they
said-
said,
so they were willing to abate their fees and penalties, so I saved myself about $650 by paying them off, and getting fined.
and Emily, what's due to the city?
The current delinquent balance is $5,858.25.
And that's already due, that's not counting the payment. we have
Correct.
Any day.
Right.
Is that what you're asking to be avoided, or just the fees attached to it?
I'm asking for an abatement of fees and penalties for tax year 2024, of which the amount I'm not exactly certain, keeps growing. And then the 2461, the 2,461, that would have been my rebate from the state of Vermont. With 50% ownership, with that taken into consideration, that's the rebate that I would have received for this tax year in 2024, but Vermont was.
So it's not just the 2,461 you're asking, what other, so the fees and penalties, so this is how it adds up to what Emily's saying, it's 5,000 something.
I don't even think that would be all of the 5,000. I've talked to Emily in the past, her and I had some conversations, I went on a payment plan, I bring a check to the city of South Burlington for $500 to be.
I wondered where that was going, so that's,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. So can you say that number again, and it's 5,000?
The current delinquent balance is $5,858.25.
How much is that?
Is that the fees and penalties, or
Total.
total, or is there something?
So when a payment is made, it's applied to, the penalty and interest first. And then principal second. So the total interest that has accrued is $697.78. And the total penalty amount is $711.90. For 24-25.
So that's much less than five,
That's penalty.
Yes, Ann.
I want to echo what Lynn said, how you have responded and how you have dealt with the crazy making. And time is pretty incredible. Going forward, how do you imagine being able to pay without garnering late fees and penalties?
By my calculation, if I continue to pay $500 a month, every single month, and there's a couple months that I brought in an extra check when I've had it, and extra money that came in.
Okay,
My goal is by the end of this tax year to be caught, by the end of the 2025 tax.
okay.
Because my taxes for this year that are owed. Okay, the very beginning was, fine, what I brought in, because I had my 8% ownership this year. The net tax due for this year is $5,132.10. So it continues to be within that realm, and I continue to pay the $500 a month. I should, eventually come out of the woods and come out on top.
Thank you.
Other questions for Emily and Andrew?
I just want to clarify, just to follow up on Tim's statement. So when you initially bought the house, you and your parents just co-owned it, just that you own it together? Is that what the deed said?
We didn't know any of these things about homestead declaration.
Yeah, I'm not asking, just in terms of the deed, you owned it together?
50/50.
They were listed
It
as
just
one
says
party.
co-owners.
Yeah, and then I was listed as one party. The way, it wasn't clarified. And when it's not clarified.
Just that you own it, you and your parents own the house?
Yeah.
On the deed, okay. And the state then, based upon you and your parents owning it, gave you a 50% exemption or gave you no exemption?
50% ownership as opposed to 100% that I explained. because I was under the impression that when you're parent and child.
So the 9 was 50, so it would have been like, what, 14 or something, is that? I mean,
The 9 wasn't 50, the 9 was me owing all of my property taxes for last year. That was me owing everything. Because
so what would it have been if you didn't get 50%? Or is that?
it's really hard to calculate. Property tax rebate, I try to figure out how they do their calculations. And I'm not terrible with money and numbers, but I should figure out how they do their calculations.
So again,
I call it, try to figure out that.
The 9 is, okay, just clarify, 9 is based on 50 or 100?
The 9 was based on 100, that was 100% of taxes that I owed, because all of my rebate was taken by the state of Vermont. I got.
What was the calculation? The calculation was based on what exemption? I mean,
Their calculation for that year was based on 50%.
it was, okay.
Yes.
Super.
And can I understand, I'm not sure if you're going to answer this, but maybe someone at the table knows, what's the link behind the professional licensure and unpaid property taxes?
I'm not sure if anybody at the table knows, I mean, obviously, if the state.
There's probably something that says be in good standing. I could look it up, but. Or someone was just making statements.
If you have a professional license that's issued by the state of Vermont, it's considered a privilege to operate the state of Vermont. That state license is, there are conditions that you sign when you renew it, including that you're in good standing on your property taxes.
Even
No criminal conviction. Yeah. Surprised with my entire life, and I've spent many sleepless nights.
It sounds like the back and forth alliance is a frustrating exercise.
There's an understatement.
So,
Question?
I wonder from Emily, is, Adriana,
Yep.
is for assessment, like only 6,000 already, knowing that we have a tax bill coming up and yours is big. Any week now, right?
For installment amount?
Is that 500 installment amount that she's been trying to pay you, going to touch it when that's already, 5858?
Right.
Don't we have taxes due, like?
On Monday.
Monday. Yeah,
I'll see
which is how much, I saw your form there.
I'm
Sure, every
installment-
time, yeah,
My installment for this year is $1,710.
yeah, so. It's
It's a lot.
We're gonna be up for 500 a month isn't gonna pay.
So the total would be, right now, would be $10,990.35. You include the 25-26 tax year.
So I'm gonna have to keep making extra payments if I can. The state of Vermont won't take my tax return this year, so I can give it to you guys instead. Basically, sometimes if I'm behind, and if I'm behind on taxes in the past, I have used my tax return. Brought it here and checked.
Use your credit card.
No, I can't. My first got everything on it I can, so whatever she brought on it.
So, and I'm not sure who to ask this of. You are making payments of 500 a month. And right now, he owes $10,000.
No, right now the delinquent amount is, 58.58.25. So if you add in the 25-26 tax amount, the 3 installments, which are $5,132.10. The total is the 10,990.
But we subtract 500 a month.
No, because that 500 a month
It's just keeping
only goes
current.
to interest and penalties. And when you pay your credit card, it just pays your interest, keeps going up.
Oh, is that what?
Part of balance,
Yeah, it's like kids went to that first, yeah.
Oh, so it doesn't pay for the balance.
it does if you finally trade off the interest and penalties, then it'll go toward.
To your,
Okay.
And the total amount of interest and penalty right now, if you could say again.
Yeah.
3,000?
1,300. But 700 interest and about 700 penalty.
yeah.
So total,
Okay.
97, 711.
so it's 711 And,
penalty and
697
in interest.
glad someone's good at math.
No, I just wrote it down.
And, we have taxes due Monday. And so
He's gonna get hit again.
you can be hit again. In how many months? Okay, there's five, so in 2 months. In 2 months, you will have paid off the interest and penalties.
Why do you think that?
Because $500 a month. And the interest and penalties you said was $730.
It's about
Three-
$1,400.
3 months.
Oh, 3 months.
3 months.
But it's gonna accrue more.
It's gonna get hit again Monday.
Back with Monday,
Well, that's what I was trying to figure, I guess I'm trying to figure out
how do
when,
you get out of that hole?
yeah, when does the $500 a month start with the being, phew, now I'm paying for my actual property
Is
tax.
that easy to answer?
So what some people do that are on payment plans, which is difficult, is to pay their installment amount so that that's paid. And then you keep working on your previous delinquent balances.
The installment amount about that's due Monday.
Right, so that you're not accruing penalty and interest on that installment.
Yeah.
And then you're just paying payments to, you know,
Get
pay
rid of.
down your delinquent balance.
Are you following that? That it's like a.
But I mean,
credit
if you can afford to do that,
card
that's.
that every time you don't make that payment, the other side just keeps adding and adding. So you can have.
Are there other questions from the board?
I think if my math's right, the total amount you're asking for to be abated is $3,870.87. Yeah, the 2461
Yeah,
plus the 711 plus the 697.
that's what I was trying to figure out, what that, to add for that actual amount. So those actions combined together.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
3861 approximately.
Right, 3870.
38 what?
$33,870.87. That could be what I added that incorrectly.
86, so $3,870.87. I like
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, 2008.
What is the 2461 is the difference between, the 2461 is the difference between what your property taxes would have been based on 50 versus what they are based on 80?
No, it's what my rebate was, that 50% ownership last year, that the state of Vermont confiscated to go towards their back tax that they wrote. Money that should have
She's
gone
not even
to California.
asking for the 80%, she's only asking for the 50.
Yeah, I'm only asking for 50. I'm not asking for anything that didn't already come through the pipe. Because when I changed my percentage of ownership on a deed, that was in March of this year. So from that point going forward, that's what I'm entitled to.
Except that there's two other ones, you're asking their neighbors to give you the homestead money back. That the state should be giving back, you know.
But we have a number, right?
Yeah.
3870.87. Any other questions? Does the board need any other information?
If we were to abate this, going forward, how are you going to pay the installments in a
Monday.
way that doesn't get you back in this hole again?
My thought is to continue paying $500 a month, and in some months I brought an extra check in when I had extra money. So I think based on what I have kind of saving now, I should be able to next month bring in an additional check probably by the beginning of the month. So I'll be able to bring another check in, I'm bringing my check in next month, and then I'm gonna have to keep paying that installment out, getting any extra money that I have, because it's up and so on. And if I keep paying, if this amount was abated, and then that would leave about $1,200 that were owed from last year. That should get paid off within the first couple of months of what would be considered this tax payment cycle. And there will be some fees and penalties, but then I'll start paying what would be owed this year, continue paying. And sometime around the end of this tax year, or maybe into the very beginning of the next one, depending on how many extra payments I would.
Thank you.
Anything else from the board? We have enough information? Okay. Adriana, thank you very much, and sorry for the trouble. So, pretty grueling. As I said before, we're gonna have a deliberative session when we come to the fourth round. This is next, and then we're gonna issue a written decision on the property 30 days. Is that good? Great. Thank you. Does anybody need a break before hearing four?
No.
No? Okay. Then, we'll close hearing three. Adriana, thank you again. And, open hearing four, Kelly Shedler, is that correct? 104 Hayes Avenue, and I'm looking for a parcel number here. Parcel number 810-00104. And, I'm gonna ask members of the board if anybody needs to recuse themselves based on, prior communication or personal issues with, Kelly. Hearing seeing none, we will move on to, swearing Kelly in for testimony.
Do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause now under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Kelly, you've witnessed, 3 hearings so far. Thank you for your
Yes,
patience.
when I realize I'm not prepared at all.
Okay. But you have given us, some documentation. I'm gonna label, your email, to Holly Booth says 0401 for, that first piece, and then your abatement request is 0402. And then you have a property tax bill, which will label 0402. So we have 3 pieces of evidence, physical evidence that you've given us. And perhaps you can take us through your testimony on your statutory authority for, requesting this is checkbox 3, which is unable to pay your tax. Is that correct? Correct. Okay. So, it said you recently disabled and unable to work, and I don't have money until my Social Security kicks in. So, take us through more of a bigger summary.
Yes, trying to get through it without trying, but my life has been disastrous past couple of months. I was struggling with money, but I could always make it work, I have a daughter and I own a condo. Have a home equity line of credit. Money's always hard, but I can always make it work. And, 3 months ago, I basically have a disability now. I don't know if they had stroke or what. I'm getting brain MRI. I don't know. Plastic MRI, something. That's why I broke my wrist because I felt I can't put loss. So basically, I'm served at a restaurant, and you feel like crying in river, but I'm served at a restaurant. There's no holidays, there's no people going. I stopped working July 6th. Yeah. The only way for me to get out of this is. I'll go last month. I have to tell my condo, I think we're going to live there and speak to the facility. I don't know what else to do.
Understood. The amount I see you referenced here is $519.28. So is that, current overdue money for the city?
No, I can't exactly, I can tell I have a bill. And it looks like I have to pay $1,468.20.
All of this.
18. I have to make it for, not this, I can't get a ball, work, anything.
And have you contacted the city at all in advance? I know there's a lot going on, and that might be the least of your issues, obviously.
Well, I requested the abatement.
Okay.
There's no else I could do.
That's the city clerk, but Emily and the city manager, are in the position to be able to work out what, Emily, precisely?
A payment plan.
A payment plan. You know, and, you know, things might be, completely nothing right now, you know, because it's been 3 weeks or so. And, you know, who knows where you are a month from now, right? And the idea of a payment plan is, well, what do you project or you think you will be able to do based on, you know, thinking forward about it. And I know it's hard if you're having difficulty getting to places, you can be able to imagine what you need to do a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. And yes, you know, as you just described, you know, one of the options is, what can I do, you know, sell the place immediately, to cash out on the whole thing, and that might not be the best choice. I don't know how people you have in your life that can help you make decisions like that, you know, or as we've seen the very first woman here is working with Vermont Legal Aid down in Springfield, Vermont, and find a way, you know, they can take a hold of resources in order to be able to help them navigate through all this stuff. This poor woman just left, we working on her own with the state of Vermont, that, you know, all they want to do is threaten you to try and squeeze money out of it. Similarly, you know, you see the other end of the spectrum where you have people out there that are there to help you navigate through situations like this. So I don't know where those supports might be from our perspective, but I know one of the first things we do, you know, would be to call up and say to Emily or the city manager, you know, I'm not gonna be able to pay this month. What can we do? Or how can I, you know, make sure that I'm not gonna get hit with amazing interest or penalty. So they're gonna say, what can you do? You know, if it's $50, $100, or the $500 or what have you. So having that open communication is helpful. Showing up and coming to us for an abatement request is also helpful too. Right now, it you know, as you say, you didn't bring us a lot of information, because there's not a lot of information to work with others. I owe this money, right? Let me ask Emily, what is the current state of this 104 Hayes Avenue, the $519.28, and what does that represent?
The current delinquent balance is $2,619.41.
2000.
619.41.
41. And
But on Monday, that becomes.
On Monday.
There is another.
1468.
so you just add the 1468.20 to it, so you end up with oh man, you're
What is penalty?
Almost 4,100.
Yeah,
4,080.
What's penalty and interest?
Interest is 212, and penalty is 143.
And is that on the payment due on Monday? The interest?
No, this
That's the
is
back
on the
end.
delinquent.
That's on the previous stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kelly, where is this $519? Was that from back in May, that when you sent the email of the home, was that what you owed back then? Is that where you got that
I
number?
have no idea.
Okay,
I really don't know. I've had so much going on, but I keep track of everything.
okay.
You said you're waiting for Social Security. Did you get approved to do the work already? No, not yet. I applied. They say it takes 45 months. And I have no income comes through. Can't walk. Yeah. Basically, running around 80 miles a day.
If you can call or email Congressman Ballard or Senator Welch or Senator Sanders, their caseworkers are often able to help expedite those applications, and they can get on the phone with Social Security and say, hey, find Kelly's application, let's speed that up, so they might be able to also connect you to some resources.
Chris?
Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, so I see your property tax bill here, and there is no state payment this year. Did you file your taxes last year?
Yes, and I noticed that, and
Because
I did it myself.
if your income is that low,
I
and you're
know.
barely getting by, you should be getting some type of state
I
payment.
noticed that. Last year I did it. I did my taxes myself, and with the everything I have, I'm losing some copies of ability, to be honest.
And I noticed that too, I'm like, well, I must have made a mistake on this one.
So I would suggest you contact Vermont Department of Taxes and find out if you filed your homestead declaration.
Right, I know.
I just did, because he does have a homestead.
Did she file it? I mean, but no, within her taxes.
She filed her homestead, but we don't know anything about state payment, so she'd have to ask about that.
Right.
Yeah, but that, like, homestead, should they get some kind of statement payments or?
Well, it's based on income. So it's all based on income and the value of your house. But one would think you should get something, I would think.
Yeah.
So,
So it's showing that the homestead is reflected here, or it's
It
not?
is, but up here, not.
down in the middle, right-hand side, it says total state payment is 0 for the
So-
4404.
So does that mean that they approved it, they just didn't send it to you?
So they're really two different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would call, sooner rather than later, because we get downloads, at the end of each month, for state payments. So if you can get it in, before the end of this month, if they need any information, hopefully we will get that by the 30th. And then we could get your a revised tax bill and reduce that.
You know, writing that down for me.
Yeah, so I can
I can email it to you as well. That'd be great, but it's great, that's what, yeah.
This shows no property tax adjustment based upon income, right? But it does show a homestead.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So she did file the homestead, but
Right.
we just don't know what happened with the state payment.
right.
Yeah.
Well, either there was or wasn't.
Right.
They're either supposed to be or there isn't. One or the other.
Do you think we qualified based on income for state aid last year?
There's a lot that year, my income was, my tax return was now 0, but it was 40,000.
You would have been eligible.
40,000.
You would have been eligible because you have a,
I wasn't the past year, I think it was 38, this year maybe 48.
because you're in a condo on, are you in Cardinal Woods?
Yeah,
So that's a condo.
yeah.
And based on the value of the condo and your income, you would be eligible.
Would the state, garnish a payment if they were in arrears on a tax?
This is why, Ellen, emailing, perhaps the taxpayer advocate in Vermont and have them do that, and to perhaps also, email if you have that information. What Matthew suggested, the contact person for,
Social Security.
for Social Security. Well, I was gonna say our senators, and reps to get one of their caseworkers working on it. Would be ways to help maybe move things faster or not, or at least get some clarity around what is possible.
It sounds like you could use a number of resources that we're not immediately able to,
I understand that.
but, absolutely. I think we've got a number. It sounds like there's $4,087.61 that the city's gonna be looking for on Monday. And so that's the number we'll need to consider. Are there any other questions from the board? Are there any other questions of Emily? No? Do we have enough information to make a decision? So Lynn Burry here is kind enough to write down some information, so we give you a kickstart.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And I think, I know I spend all day on the phone in the afternoon, it just frustrates me to.
Oh, I've
make
been
three
home
phone
for so much lately, I just sit at my computer and think, oh my God, what am I gonna do today?
These are good start.
Keep it all straight,
I think,
so much.
I think the Social
You do.
Security is one avenue for sure, and the State Department of Taxes is another avenue. And, as far as a third resource, I'm not sure, what else there might be. Community, and I depend on you.
Yeah, no, I think everyone in terms of what is, within the purview of this committee,
That's an open
in terms of
call.
right,
Yeah.
moving things forward.
I've got, Bernie and Becca.
Yeah.
Who just had the phone the other day.
Good person.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm gonna show the, and to leave my daughter having to move, she has a tattoo.
Uh-huh.
It's like, do I sell my condo, and I have the money now. That's the return money too, and I'm gonna spend $24 a month on rent, with the utilities, $3,000 a month.
The hard part is, you could sell it for a lot of money, but it's not enough to do anything else.
Right, that's the problem.
So
Where do you live at?
How old you said?
11.
Yeah, she doesn't want to change school.
No, she won't. She's had her dad too, but she's never been to school, but it's just moving to get her life in a place.
You are divorced?
Yeah.
Are you getting child support?
No,
Have you thought of asking for child support?
She have more money than you?
yeah, but
Yes,
no, I'm not going down that route. I got alimony for a couple of years. Better to keep things just civil. With the years.
Very good. Okay. You'll leave with us now, so I'm gonna try and get you, another phone.
Oh, where you work?
I was working at the 99 in Williston.
Uh-huh.
I was in massage therapist for 22 years,
Oh, wow.
the last days. And then I, too much swimming, and my shoulders, I ruptured a few tendons. So I was like, well, there's two people thought, serving part-time, and then eventually it became my full. Unfortunately.
Yeah, the Tommy John surgery or something, with that rotator cuff.
Rotator, I ruptured my bicep tendon, so I tore up the.
Ow.
Yeah.
You can survive without a bicep, I think.
Well, you would extreme athlete.
So I'm a very extreme athlete, now I'm disabled, how about that?
So the first thing, probably tomorrow, for the tax payment.
What's that?
The tax payment's due Monday, so if
Yeah.
you're gonna make a payment or help, you wanna know, like, now.
The books now, potentially we'll take a break and then come back and deliver the session. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna close your hearing, number 4, Kelly, and look